I come from a really small town. When I googled the population of Pingdong, I think it's 200,000. Wow, it's gonna be like a small Tokyo. And as they're driving and they get to Pingdong, I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. And I really fell in love with Taiwan.
好，来，这个我是 Adele。今天和我在一起的是我一个非常好的朋友 Carol。
大家好，我是 Carol。我的妈妈是意大利人，我的爸爸是爱尔兰人。
哇 I actually didn't know. You speak quite good Chinese.
Nah. That's all I know. The end.
谢谢，拜拜。
Bye bye.
I'm really curious about your experience in Taiwan, and I'm sure like a lot of Taiwanese people would love to know about your story and your experience in Taiwan.
I've been here for almost 6 years, and when I first arrived, I thought I was going to be here for 3 months.
3 months?
Yes. This year is my 6th.
So what brought you to Taiwan?
Random. It was really random.
Yeah?
I was teaching in Ireland English to foreigners, and they were all adults. My colleagues told me, Carol, you need to go to Asia and try teaching there to see how they teach English as a second language in a foreign country. And so I was like, okay, yeah, but where do I go? Asia is so big. And I was like 24. I didn't really know, had never been to Asia.
Don't even know much about Asia, I suppose.
You know, people were traveling and doing,
yeah.
but not really living. So all my colleagues were like, you have to go to Asia, you make good money, you can teach for a year, get your experience and come back. And so I was like, okay, where do I go? So I thought about my favorite students, Koreans, party hard, but always good. They would come to class on time and they would be kind of sober. The Japanese, so funny. They were amazing.
Drunk?
They would go out and drink, but like also behave. I was really impressed by the Taiwanese.
Yes?
They were so nice and sweet. And I remember this one student. We had one class. It was like a movie day. This Taiwanese guy came with a pillow. I'm cozy, teacher. And I just fell in love with Taiwan. I was like, I want to go to that country. Actually, they had a presentation about your country. So there was Brazil and Japan and Korean people. They all brought their own countries. And then Taiwanese brought their country. And I was like, oh, so it's a region of China. They got really mad. So I was like, okay, I need to do my research. Okay. So I really didn't know anything about Taiwan. And then I started like researching and I got a really good job opportunity from Taiwan. It was an amazing opportunity. They were giving me housing, a bicycle. They were picking me up from the airport. So huge bonus at the end of the year.
I need to accept this.
Yeah, but I know why it was such a good offer.
Why?
I said yes straight away. And then I Googled where the offer was. And it was in Pingdong. I come from a really small town outside of a big city, and the population of this town is like 30,000, 35,000. When I Googled the population of Pingdong, I think it's 200,000. Innocent Carol was like, wow, it's gonna be like a small Tokyo.
That was the expectation.
So I said yes to that offer.
Without looking at the map?
No, nothing. In 2 weeks I was in Taiwan.
Really?
Yes.
That was the reason that you came to Taiwan in the first place. And what was your first impression?
They were very, very, very nice. The school picked me up at the airport and I was in Kaohsiung, so I saw tall buildings and I was like, wow, nice. And as they're driving and they get to Pingdong, rice fields, just pineapple fields. And I was like, oh, this is not what I expected. I was really shocked. I then got to know like the people in Pingdong and the culture and the food of Taiwan. I didn't stay 3 months. I didn't stay 6. I stayed a full year. And I really fell in love with Taiwan.
So what was the experience in Pingdong?
I felt like everybody was staring at me, taking pictures, like even like hiding and taking pictures or stopping me at the gym and it's like, oh, can we take a picture with you? At first I was like feeling weird about it, but then I understood that it was just curious, so I didn't really get annoyed by it. I know some people might get annoyed. They were so genuine. I also had a colleague that came for 3 weeks and she had a daughter. She told me that one day she was at a 7-Eleven. This man came up to her and said, hey, do you and your child want to come to my house and play with my children? And she said, never in the US I would have accepted. But here in Taiwan, I feel so safe.
Why not?
She went and they made cupcakes and they played with the kids. And yeah, it was,
Must also feel really special being there, I suppose.
Yeah. I felt like the only foreigner. But it was like, I felt lonely at some point because I wasn't really going out and meeting foreigner. The language also there was a bit hard, so hard. So funny. funny. I would go to the market. Beginning, I didn't know any Chinese.
Anything.
So I would go and I just knew one sentence. 我不吃肉. Well, because I don't eat meat, so I had to learn this sentence.
Yeah,
And
very
so,
important sentence.
Yeah, but the grandmas and the grandpas at the market, they would call anybody in the family that spoke English just to like translate for me. Or like they were shouting to the people upstairs, like, does anybody speak English?
so
It was so,
cute.
yeah, I would like have the best time. They would go out of their way to help me. The younger ones were like scared. They would like run away. It happened a few times. I got into like a restaurant and they just disappeared.
Really?
Yeah, because maybe they were asking like, they went to the kitchen to ask, does anybody speak English? It feels like the south of Italy or Italy in general, they're very welcoming and they also like curious. So I felt that way. They open their doors. They're always, are you, Dababwe? So nice.
I remember when I was in Brazil or other countries, I really miss this warmth of Taiwanese people. And I'm so glad that you experienced, especially in Pingdong, 10 times more than Taipei.
Yeah, you still get the good vibes from Taipei,
but it's different.
Yeah, Taipei is more used to having foreigners. I went to Carrefour. People were literally stopping me and say, no, don't get these noodles. These are better. And then they would like change the things that I had in the. I felt
like, this brand?
No, this is not it. You have to get the best brand. So they were like really
cute.
helping me out. Yeah.
Did you have any culture shock came to Taiwan?
Every single
I
thing. How many people ride a scooter? But I think it was my first time in Asia to see 4 people on a scooter without a helmet. I was like, oh wow, that's interesting.
That works.
Something that is like happening a lot in Europe or maybe in the US too is like a lot of homeless, and I didn't see that many at stations. Maybe in Taipei there are a little bit more, but not the amount that you see back home.
Right.
So this was a very like this is a big shock that like wow, nobody's sleeping on the street.
Yeah.
And cockroaches.
Yes. The amount of cockroaches that we. Were you shocked by the heat in summer?
Yeah, I could not breathe. It felt like there was like somebody pushing me down. Yeah, that was really shocking.
What about the food?
I really enjoyed my first year and the food I tried in Pingdong. It was really, really healthy. There was a very special shop I went to for liangmian. Loved it. It was my favorite. I would go like very often.
Is there any difference between Taipei food and Pingdong?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
I mean, a little bit more like oily in Taipei, but you can also find way more international food in Taipei, which is like something that I was missing in Pingdong. Yeah. But in Pingdong, you really find like amazing vegetables and fruits.
It's coming from the...
Yeah, from there. I also went on a lot of hikes.
The nature in Pingdong.
The nature in Pingdong is amazing.
You spent 1 year in Pingdong, and then after you...
I went back home for, I think, 7 or 8 months. I went home and I really was so sad. And,
something is missing.
Yeah, a little bit. I felt out of my element. So I just had to like figure some stuff out and deal with some things at home. I was like, okay, I'll start applying for jobs in Asia again. And then this really nice offer came from Taichung, and it was a school specialized in art therapy, and
cool.
It's based on the Reggio Emilia approach, which is an Italian way of teaching. And I said, oh wow, this is calling me. So I came back to Taiwan.
And now, until now.
Yes, until now.
It's 7 years ago, you would never picture yourself.
No.
So this is Carol's experience in Taiwan. I'm so glad that you get to share with us.
Thank
you.
I
hope more and more foreigners can come to Taiwan and experience our little island. And beautiful. A little and big. If you like this content, give the thumbs up and subscribe and comment.
谢谢，拜拜。
谢谢，拜拜。
谢谢，爸爸。